do the wave and open up the meeting.
And please leave your microphones on.
Okay, so call to order the June 17th, 2021 meeting of the Kaiser Traffic Safety Bikeways Pedestrian Committee. First item is the approval of the minutes from May 2021.
I move we approve the minutes from May 2021.
I second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
I think we have 2 abstains and 0 no's, so. Okay. Next will be the appearance of interested citizens, which is a time for the public to talk about topics that are not on the agenda. I do not see anybody here, so I will assume that is done. Claggett Boardwalk status, nothing yet, unfortunately. As I've said in the past, trying to get hold of the Corps is not easy, and I need to talk to, I'm blanking on the fellow's name we talked about last time. But that being said, nothing to report at the moment. So we'll move to the project reports. Stephen, welcome back, and anything to?
Nothing too substantive. I don't know if after the April meeting, immediately after the April meeting, you and I were at the Gilser Neighborhood Association meeting to talk about this project and what we hope we might get in terms of input from the individual communities, and they sound interested in it. Beyond that, I haven't done much since then. I was wondering, I know that Debbie had come up with this, a couple of funding opportunities.
Is your mic on,
for
Stephen?
sidewalk.
Is your mic?
Oh, it is not. I think it is not. For sidewalk source funding opportunities, and I don't know if anybody had picked those up and was inquiring into them.
I haven't, no. And that being said, I never heard back about that independence program, so I think it's something that we'll either have to jump in not knowing about the liabilities or find elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And if I may, I think it might be in the minutes, but the sidewalk fee, the 50 cents every 2 months sidewalk fee that that other cities have done, that was on the agenda last month, that the commission decided, or the committee decided that they didn't want to pursue that.
Yeah, we decided that the likelihood of something like that passing compared to the parks and police fees, there wouldn't be the support.
Has anybody, another thing that Debbie identified was this ODOT program, sidewalk improvement program, that Jessica Horning apparently is the contact on. I don't know if anybody had reached out to Ms. Horning on that to see.
I've reached out, but I haven't gotten any response yet.
Very good. So I have nothing more.
Based on the neighborhood, excuse me, connectivity, I have a question. I don't know if it's for Debbie, Mike, Councilor Kohler. One thing I was looking to do was, because I have limited ability to do it, would be cutting that map we have of sidewalk condition and gaps around buffers of schools, and the SCAT can do that, but they have to get the okay from our city government. I don't know how that works with funding, like if they charge the city government for that, or if that's just within the agreement that periodically they'll do things like that for the city governments in the service area.
Did you say it's SCATs that you?
The Salem, that Salem Kaiser area. Yeah.
Okay.
Just just to help us narrow that focus, so really looking at gaps that are within a mile buffer or so. I know schools have a mile threshold where if you live beyond that, you can take a bus, but if you live within that mile, you are encouraged to walk or drive. So that's why I was thinking a mile buffer around the schools. And if they can just do that quickly in a GIS program and provide that to us, that'd be something that would be fast and helpful.
So I don't quite understand what you are asking.
So Mike Jaffe said that they can do that, they just have to get the go-ahead from Public Works / city government.
So you don't need a map. SCATS would provide the map.
They would provide the map based on my request of what it is I'm looking for from
The
that.
city of Kaiser would have to make the request.
Right.
Exactly,
Okay,
yeah.
so
And I don't know, again, if that's something that we would then be billed for by them, or if it's, just like I said, is an agreement that they provide things like that from time to time.
So are we taking the current map that was made, the council of governments made for us with the gaps and whatnot? And then
Yeah, for
just
the
like
whole
you said,
city.
having a GIS person. So we have that information in-house. So I'm wondering if it's something that we could just make the request to our GIS in-house. And depending upon workload, I don't want to overstep my bounds here, but we'll look into it. How's that?
Okay, sounds great. Yeah, I wasn't sure what our capabilities were, and I thought in the past that we've got stuff from SCAT, so I just figured that's who we asked for. Okay, yeah.
Well, if
thank
it's
you.
free through them.
What's that? All right, well, thank you. Good to know. All right, so Hirsch is not here to talk about the bike-friendly designation or the helmet program. David, did you have any update on that?
And the
Or
helmets,
Mike? I know you said we got money last time for the
No,
helmet program. Wasn't that?
we probably have enough helmets to do anything we need to for a while.
And do we have anything scheduled definitely to provide helmets?
Nope. Well, see, the thing is now schools out, one of the things is usually around kids, and so kids tend to be centered around schools, and so next fall.
And there's no Iris Festival this year again, right?
And I don't, the next main event, and I don't know if it'll happen or not, is the one that's the church function.
Actually, Iris Festival is going to happen. It's
so-
August 5th, I believe.
Oh.
With no irises.
No,
No,
Iris. It's called the
They'll be all-
Kaiser Fest.
It'll all be plastic. Oh, that's true.
So it'll be the first week of August.
Okay.
The 7th, or, yeah, with parade. and-
Okay. So that would be something we could get a table out.
Look at, yeah.
And did Hirsch say we were gonna do something at the cookie? Have a table there too?
No,
Because it's.
we normally haven't had,
seems
it's
like-
not a, once everybody takes off, it's really scattered. I volunteered at it 2 or 3 times, and, you know, it's an all-day event, not because it's a group all-day event, but people are scattered all the way from the Capitol to
Right.
the park and back.
I was thinking since it's at the riverfront, or it's at Kaiser Rapids Park, and there's that short ride with the kids.
Yeah.
Yes, Councilor Kohler?
Thank you, Chair de Blasi. If you are interested in putting a table together or something for the Kaiser Fest, you want to check with Kaiser Chamber because they're the ones that are setting all that up. Corey is who you want to talk to. CORRI at kaiserchamber.org would get you there.
And last year they didn't they have some type of market or something at the Volcano Stadium parking lot last summer?
You mean with the Kaiser Fest?
Was it?
That's,
no.
it's independent of Kaiser Fest.
Yeah, it was independent, and it was,
Right.
I felt like it was later in the summer. I don't know who
I
puts
think
that.
that's an ongoing thing. I think they have been doing that.
Okay, because then we could maybe do 1 or 2 weekends of a table there too. Do you know who to contact on that? Who puts that on?
Well, Salem Kaiser Volcanoes, because they're the ones
Oh,
that
they're the
sponsor
ones
all that. Yeah.
actually putting it on, okay.
Right. I guess I should say Kaiser Salem volcanoes. I shouldn't do that.
And you all passed over Jamie's report, which isn't on the agenda, but on the back of your agenda is her report.
Oh. Yes.
I can say it out loud. I attended the Sanka Neighborhood Association for the first time about 2 weeks ago, and talked with Colleen Bush, who's the secretary. Welcomed me there. It was nice to be able to connect with the people in my neighborhood. I explained to her that I was on this committee and that I would be attending going forward, and that if there was anything that was brought from the neighborhood that I could report, that I would be willing to hear the information there and bring it back to us to hear. Mainly, she highlighted a couple of items, which was the National Night Out is Tuesday, August 3rd at Ben Miller Park for their association, neighborhood association. I guess each association has different dates for their National Night Out.
Same night, just
It
different
is.
location.
Different locations, thank you. And then the splash pad is opening on June 22nd from Tuesday to Saturday, noon to 7, on days with weather over 75 degrees. And then we said the Kaiser Fest as well, too. I'm still needing to reach out to the Mid-Willamette Valley COG to get a status on safe routes to school. I was hoping that I could pick that back up about August. And this might tie into that map that you're trying to work together for the 1 mile around schools.
Yeah, that'd be great. And maybe, I don't know how we would decide which one to do, but on that National Night Out, maybe even have a helmet thing. Pick
Yeah.
one more popular one that we expect to see more people at. Yes, Councilor Cole?
Thank you, Chair de Blasio. You might check with Sergeant Lede here, but how many of those are there? And there are about 10 or 11 or 12 of those that we go to.
Yeah, usually, I mean, we're 20 to 40, depending upon, I don't know what COVID is going to set back for us this year. But Lieutenant Copeland sets all those up, and actually from everyone from our agency, we spread out our manpower to make sure that we hit all of them. So that might be something to where you can partner up within our agency if we have open cars or whatever. Normally on a regular night, most places will hit at least 2 to 3 for each officer, sometimes more. So it could be a good opportunity to actually hit multiple sections.
Yeah. Okay, so, and who should we contact about that?
Lieutenant Copeland sets all that up.
Okay. Now I'm gonna have to see if I remember how to spell lieutenant.
LT.
Jamie, that's correct.
Okay. All right, sorry about jumping over you there.
Yeah, you're fine.
All right, well, then I think that's it for project reports, and go to you, David.
Nothing,
Nothing?
not much.
Nothing happened at the planning commission?
Oh, okay. The planning commission meeting was canceled. And the city council had reported basically what was on our last agenda to them. There were no questions.
Debbie, before I forget, I remember, so at the council meetings, they'll say so-and-so's not here. Should I be doing that at the beginning of these meetings too?
Oh, no, they call roll at the council meetings, and so then it's clear that somebody's missing, but, and I get it in a minute. If you wanted to, you could do that, but I'm not sure that it's necessary.
Okay.
So if there's somebody that you wanted to excuse, then you could mention that.
Okay.
But I'm here.
Okay. Committee member input. We'll start with you. Wayne, you could tell us about your bionic hip.
Just call me the $6 million man. I have a new hip, a total hip replacement. It's my second surgery to fix an injury from January, and it's working great. It's been 3.5 weeks, and I'm able to walk, and no pain. I'm standing up straight. My knee doesn't hurt anymore. So if you ever hurt your hip, go for a total hip replacement. Do not go for hip repair. I do have a little bit more. I did do a little research on our pedestrian flags topic from last month, and I discovered that Kirkland, Washington has a really good setup for pedestrian flags. We could use them as a model if we choose to do that here in Kaiser. They've created forms for volunteers to take care of the flags. They've established, I think if I remember right, they have about 90 pedestrian flag crossings in their city. I would just, if we want to pursue that issue, I would recommend that we use Kirkland, Washington as the model to follow.
Okay. And did you talk to someone there, or you just?
No, just information on looking it up and.
Yeah, and you forwarded that article as well, too.
Yeah. Okay,
all
well,
I have.
that's something if we need to, we can always reach out to them to get more information. Thank you. I'll skip over me for now. David, do you have anything?
Nope.
No?
Not, well, I think, as everybody's seen the traffic changes they've made on, is it 35th and Tepper? They put in a four-way stop. It used to be kind of, I don't know if it was dangerous or not. I never saw a wreck there, but there was no stop on is that 35th that comes out of,
Nothing new there that I.
isn't it, well, they say it.
Right by Volcano Stadium there?
Yeah, up at Tepper Road, it's a four-way stop now instead of a two-way stop. Well, the north-south, it used to be a straight shot, now you have to stop. Anyway, they got the traffic change signs up and all that. And then the stop sign, four-way stop they put in on River Road and Clear Lake Road. If you're not familiar with that.
River and the hitching post?
Correct.
Yeah, that's where they put in the four-way stop.
On there.
Yeah.
That's-
It's out of
yeah,
the city
that's Brook-
limits.
That's Brook Lake, and
Is that Brook Lake?
that's Brook Lake and River.
Right. Sorry, what did I
Yeah,
say,
you-
Clear Lake? Yeah,
The
wrong.
other
The other
Tepper.
places like you talk about would be Target, that was
Yeah.
that was the area that you were.
Down by the stadium up towards where the overpass is.
It's completely different segment.
Two
That's River
places,
Brook.
yeah,
Right.
And
yeah.
that's been there for, gosh, about 4 months now.
Which shows you how often I go that way.
Yeah.
I did, it was noticeable that it's a four-way stop, how's that?
Right.
And the one at River Road by the hitching post that one always scared me since I go there too often, so.
Right, and again, those are areas of the county,
Yeah, it's county roads, yeah, it's
Right.
not us.
but there was a fatality by the hitch and post, and that precipitated putting the four-way stop in.
Not, the fact, I didn't know that, but that fact bothers me because it seems to me, I'm not even gonna guess how many people came out of the hitching post a little inebriated, but that was a bad intersection. I mean, it was, common sense would have told you something's gonna happen there.
We'd actually talked to the county quite a bit about it, and then they decided, well, maybe they better do something.
So when somebody gets killed, they'll do something, yeah.
What we actually proposed there was a roundabout, but they
Yeah,
put a four-way stop in because it was cheaper.
yeah, well, I wasn't gonna mention that, but yeah. But it's convenient.
Well, see, if we go for a roundabout, then it's easy to put a four-way stop in.
Shoot high and. Is that it?
The only other thing is I went through, I think it might be the oldest roundabout in Oregon, 39th and Gleason in Portland. It was there when I was a kid, so it was there in the 50s, early 50s. And it's still there, and they haven't improved it at all, so kind of interesting.
Concrete's still good, huh?
Yep,
Statue's still there.
the statue's still there. Yeah.
Stephen?
Nothing of germane to the business of the committee to report.
The wedding went okay?
What's that?
The wedding went okay?
Wedding went great. My wife and I went on a 2.5-week trailer trip of 5 national parks, and other events occurred. Yeah, the wedding was great. My son is now happily married and ensconced in his house in Kaiser, so.
Congratulations.
Jamie, besides what you,
Didn't I already give mine? I think I already gave it.
yeah, essentially you did.
That would be it.
Okay.
Thanks.
And I don't have anything for this month. But I will say, so there's been a little talk about next month's meeting. I know I may not be able to be here. I don't know if anyone else has a prior commitment scheduled. I think it's the 15th. But I think we'll wait. Can we do the consensus over email too?
No, but if we aren't going to have a quorum, or if everybody tells you they don't want to, they can individually contact you and say they don't want to meet, and then you can call it. Then you just call me, or you just text me and say, I think due to lack of interest, the July meeting will be canceled.
Okay.
My only concern to that is, are we trying to coordinate something for the National Night Out with the helmets?
That is true. That would be the meeting before that. So, so what we're trying to coordinate is specific to the helmet program. So I don't know if David needs, you'd be working with Hirsch.
Yeah,
So I don't know if you need,
So that could probably be coordinated through email, right?
yeah.
yeah, we can, I mean, it's not, to put on a helmet event that takes two people. One of us to go get the helmets and the table, or I usually use my table and chair, you know, but we just need helmets and brochures.
So, I mean,
That's not
I'm still gonna wait to see,
Yeah, it doesn't take us long to do it, you know,
yeah.
72 hours, probably.
It's just obviously the coordinating with
Yeah.
KPD. And then with Kaiser Fest being a couple days after that, you at least want
In
to,
in the past, we haven't done Kaiser Fest.
is there a reason for that, or?
I don't
You
know.
used to. You used to have
A long time
a
ago,
bike
we used to
corral.
they gave us a booth. And
Yeah, but
one
that's
couple,
stopped.
1 year or 2 years, we ran a bike rodeo, which wasn't very successful.
I might say, though, as I understand it, they're having a difficult time finding people, the people who do the rides. And since, if those aren't going to be there, having some kind of a bicycle event or rodeo for the kids might have a little more appeal to the chamber than it normally does.
The carnival rides were secured.
They were? Okay, well, never mind then.
Yeah.
Pretty hard to compete with those.
Has anybody, Wayne, have you run a bike rodeo before? I have. I have no if
I have not
anybody else.
run a bike rodeo.
Okay,
I did do a bike rodeo when my son was 8 years old.
That's the same
That's how
thing.
they got me into Indian guides.
yeah, okay.
Cub Scouts.
So,
Not a big deal to put one on.
yeah. Do you want to reach out to the chamber to see if there's even,
Let me talk to Hirsch first.
yeah,
So if something happens, it'll happen.
okay. And do we have anything else? Oh, well, I can reach out to the Salem Kaiser Salem
Well,
volcanoes.
excuse me, first thing I have to do is decide whether the chamber will give us free booth, free space.
Right.
Several times we didn't do it because I don't know what the fee was. 50, 100, I don't know what.
Yeah, I think it
I
was-
can't remember, but they wouldn't waive it, so we didn't do it, so. But
The
we could-
city is a major sponsor of that, so you go by the city and say where the city would like us to do this, then it might be a little easier.
Yeah. Or find a spot just outside.
We have a couple bikes we usually bring.
Okay. All right. Mike, anything for us?
Thank you, Chair DeBasi, and I do not have anything, so.
Okay. No projects coming up that we should
Or
hear? Any
any what?
projects coming up, or?
No, paving's held off this summer, so I'm gonna do some repairs on Windsor Island Road. But other than that, no.
Sergeant Ledet, anything?
Nothing new to report.
And standing in for Counselor Day, we have Counselor Kohler. Anything to report from the council?
I'm just wondering, we had somebody come in late. I wonder if they had anything to say, but but I would like to say that Counselor Day regrets not being able to be here today. And so he asked me to come and say, yay, go move forward.
Debbie, should I?
Sure. Did you want to speak? Just came to listen.
All right, well, thank you for coming. Okay, well, all right, well,
I do have one question.
Yes.
Real quick before you go. What are you looking for from the planning commission when we do sit in on that as far as a report?
so the way I see it is if there's something that's germane to our work, to bring that back to us, and maybe even when we're meeting face to face, to get a kind of a heads up as to what they will be working on. And we have the calendar of their projects, right, Debbie? Or their agenda items.
I include you in when I send out their packets, you should be getting their packets as well.
Yes.
But
And you can tell by looking at the agenda, then, if they're gonna talk about accessory dwelling units or something like that, that's nothing to do with traffic. So, but if they talk maybe about a new subdivision or something like that, that might be something that you would want to weigh in on. I'm not exactly sure what the commission, how they would weigh in on that, but be something you'd want to be interested in anyway.
Thank you.
So it's also kind of pointing out to them that we are concerned about interconnected, some of the things we've discussed that we seem, at least I'd say consensus, we're concerned about interconnected communities so we don't isolate neighbors. The fact that there's an increased pedestrian and bicycle traffic, and it seems to be increasing. The fact that we're on just a piece of information that they need to be reminded, we're on the Willamette Valley Scenic Bikeway. Bike lanes are important. I mean, keep a place for them to bicycle.
And I think even too, for commercial development where there's a bike rack that would be going in,
Yeah, stuff like that.
Okay.
reminding them of citing it properly and if they need input on how to do that.
And that's just you could probably say the same thing every month to them. Wouldn't hurt.
Thank you.
And you don't have to go, they are televised, so you can just watch them.
Right.
Do they plan on changing that anytime soon now that things are loosening up a little bit?
The planning commission has been televised for quite a while, and it was before COVID they started televising
Okay,
it.
so you meant televised, not Zoom.
No, not Zoom, no,
sorry.
televised.
That's
So
where
you
my
can
head
watch
goes.
it on K23, yeah.
Yeah.
At Parks Board, this committee and planning commission are.
Yeah. Okay. Stephen, did you have something?
Yeah, the talk of additional development did remind me that we got notice of a public meeting on a plan to turn a piece of property that is just west of the pedestrian tunnel on Tepper
Yeah,
under to Kaiser Station. It was a single family parcel. It's now, the plan is to turn that into, it's been sold, and the plan is to turn that into 14 single-family units on what's essentially a cul-de-sac. So that'll empty out onto Tepper, just, like I said, just east of that pedestrian tunnel. So that, if that goes forward, will probably have some impact on the both pedestrian and bicycle traffic
it might, yeah.
in that area.
Did you say east? West of Tupper? West,
I'm sorry,
west of the road?
Just west,
Okay.
excuse me, yes.
On the Gubster side.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, yes.
One thing I would like to see then out of that is they have the mailbox right in the sidewalk, right where you're biking to go down into that tunnel. And if we could have that resolved.
I mean, that's in the plans.
It's across the street from that mailbox. that area that Steve's talking about.
Okay.
On the other side, on the south side of Tepper, just before you go under the undercrossing,
Oh.
that whole area there was one little house that sat back there. That forested area sold, and
Okay.
I think that's where you're
Okay,
talking
so-
about.
That's it.
Adjacent but not connected projects.
Correct.
Okay. Who would be responsible for moving that thing? Would that be?
The post office.
It's not ours, yeah.
We've had that issue before.
Yes, we have. Long time ago.
However, my recall is there's no sidewalk where the mailboxes are going to be, correct?
I don't know where the new
Well,
mailboxes are going to be located.
The problem is the post office does not pay attention to the sidewalk, whether it's there or not. And then they don't seem to have a problem putting their mailbox on the sidewalk and narrowing the sidewalk down. Wayne, you've seen these, you're riding around town, you've got about maybe 24 inches maybe left or less sometimes because the mailbox is in the middle of the 5-foot side, whatever the sidewalk width is.
Right.
So they don't seem to be too concerned about that. But-
Well, the new ones that are installed, there's little bump outs around them, so that's not
Okay, they've been
a
doing
factor
that now.
anymore. But
Yeah.
yeah, the old ones that are around, you are going to see that,
Yeah.
correct?
Okay.
And that one you're talking about, I mean, we walk that and I walk right by there, but I don't see, I don't ever notice myself walking around something, so I was gonna make note of that, because I'm not quite sure. I don't see it as an obstruction, I guess, as I'm walking through there, but maybe I'm not paying attention.
Well, I
I'm
think
cognizant.
as a pedestrian, it's not such a problem, and as a bicyclist, if you know how to get around these things, it's okay, but I think for kids especially, or people who might not be so stable on bikes.
That's
What
one of
about
my
somebody in a
shortcuts to
wheelchair?
actually get from the Gubster portion over to the Volcano Stadium area. And I don't have any issues negotiating with my motorcycle to get through that tunnel.
Sure,
So hopefully, I'm hoping if they're riding a bicycle, they could actually get around that obstruction.
right, but I,
Okay,
you
good.
know,
We'll check it when, I guess when it's done.
what's that?
We'll check it when it's done, when they're finished.
Okay. All right, well, looks like we're at the end. The next meeting will potentially, July 15th. Rick, who's not here tonight, so hopefully he'll hear that he's to report to council and attend or monitor the planning commission.
No, if they haven't been to the meeting, they don't need to report. They wouldn't know what to report. The traditional way to do this is to switch with somebody else take his spot, and he would take theirs.
Okay,
Does somebody else want to volunteer?
When is it?
July 6th is the council and July 14th is the planning commission. So the 6th would, I think, be okay for me. The 14th would be just as not possible as the 15th.
I'll
So,
take the planning commission. I think you took mine last month.
okay. Well, I think because I'd missed the one before.
I volunteer, but I don't plan that far ahead.
Okay, so Mike, you're going
Sorry.
to you're going to report to council?
Yeah,
Okay.
Please note that David doesn't report that far
Yeah,
out.
make note of that.
If you can't make it and it's the night before, give me a call. I'll go if I,
That's good,
I'll
yes.
know about tomorrow night.
His forgetter works overtime.
Planning Commission.
all right, well, thank you. It was a quick one tonight. So enjoy the
Right.
nice weather and see you maybe in a month.
Okay.